Okay. All right. It's such a pleasure to be the instructor for today's event. We are conducting a mock per panel discussion, day 2. We have 5 esteemed panelists, 2 moderators, and 1 summarizer. The event looks great because the topic is amazingly interesting, which is chosen by you all. So on this note, let's begin with panel discussion. I invite our moderators for today, Naren Naren Satish and Shreyas Chakraborty. Naren, over to you. Naren and Shreyas, over to you.
Hello everyone, welcome to another amazing panel discussion for today. And I'm having Mr. Shreyas Chakraborty as our moderator to supporting me in this whole panel discussion. So Shreyas, what's the topic for today's panel discussion?
The topic for today's panel discussion is movies versus books. What influences the kids most? So today, now I'm going to introduce the panelists. So the first panelist is Aisha Nuha. Second is Anja Pereira. Third is Hana Priyas. Fourth is Dhruv Lachwani. And fifth is Lokesh Chauhan.
So let me ask first, our first panelist, Aisha Nuha, to give her opening remarks.
Hello, everybody. I am Aisha. I am the panelist 1. I am a student in Amity School, Dubai, and I am here to talk about the topic movies versus books. What influences children more?
So let me call upon our second panelist, that is Anthea Pereira, to give her opening remarks.
Hello everyone, I'm Anthea. I'm in 7th grade. I'm from Dubai, and today I'm here to talk about movies versus books, which influence kids most.
So now let me call upon Hana Priyas, a panelist 3rd, to give her opening remarks.
Hello everyone, I'm Hana Priyas. I'm panelist for today's panel discussion for the topic movie versus books, which influence the kids the most. Kids are likely to be impressed by what they see and what they hear and what they read. So I'd like to tell that reading books can make kids more understand about the world and the topic.
So let me invite our 4th panelist, that is Dhruv Lachwani, for his opening remarks.
I think that kids like movies more, and that influences them more.
So let me call upon our last panelist, that is Lokesh Chauhan, for his opening remarks.
Please unmute and start again.
Hello everybody, I'm Lokesh. I'm the last panelist for today. And I think books influences the kids most.
So let's start a panel discussion.
What's wrong? Moderators, start the questions.
Yeah. So my question is to Lokesh Chauhan. So Lokesh,
Don't give names. Shreyas, not giving names. Question.
Okay, the question is, as you know that reading books make our vocabulary better, so is it not good to read a book than to watch a movie?
Yes, it's good to read a book, but watching movie is also good because it explains the plot better.
So as
I think movies like books have pictures, and movies move things more, and like movies can show what happens in real life more.
Okay. So panelist 3, my question to you is that, as said, that watching the film can give you a new interpretation of the story, but also can ruin the way you imagine it. What do you think about this?
Reading books can make children's imagination skills better, but if kids watch the movies, they will just see the pictures and just they cannot understand much better. But books can explain many things better, and kids can understand it by the help of pictures and the lines and paragraphs and the settings, plot structure, and everything.
Okay, I would like to add on to Hannah's point. So characters are described much better in books with even more detail that is not on screen in the movies. And one more important thing, that books do have background information that the movies don't have.
I have one thing.
Actually, I also have to add
Wait.
one more point, that books can describe feelings and emotions and motivates the kids more.
Oh wait, I don't agree with you, because movies are like videos, and kids find movies more interesting than books, because most kids don't like reading.
Can I add?
Okay. Oh
something?
yeah, Aisha can go.
I don't agree with you, because when you watch something, your brain is not working as much as when you read books, and that causes your brain to go lazy, which is not good for children at young ages.
I agree with that, but it's better, because then they save, because then they can learn English. If they watch movies, they learn English, and if they read, their parents have to teach them English. Like normally, like when you were a kid, your parents only made you watch movies, and that's how you learned English, and not reading books.
Often movies have slang languages rather than in books. They use different vocabularies, new words, so that children can learn English better. But this is diverting from the topic.
And I also disagree, Dhruv, because when our parents tell us to watch a movie, because we don't know reading. That time we didn't knew reading.
I
Dhruv, I have a question to you. That you said that if we want to read books, then parents has to teach. That is not always there, because teachers are always there to teach us. So don't you think that parents are always helpful? Teachers are also do it. What do you think?
Yeah, but mostly only parents do it. Like mostly when do kids go to school? When they were 3 years old, only the parents teach them to read, and they use books. And if they use movies, it will be more easier for them, because if you use like a very detailed vocabulary, like in books they use very detailed vocabulary, and it's hard for kids to understand. In movies they put like a very easy vocabulary.
As you said that, yeah, Lokesh, you can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Dhruv, actually, I again disagree to you, because in the starting, when we watch movies, there are like only slang languages are used in movies. So we learn slang languages, but in books, like it is for good vocabulary and else.
Can I add on?
Yeah. You can go.
Okay, so I kind of agree with Drew's point and disagree at the same time. As you said that movies are helpful, they are helpful because sometimes they have a great knowledge and vocabulary. But don't you think that they have bad words in it? Okay, I'm not telling that books don't, but they have a limited amount that movies have more.
But most movies don't have bad words. Like the movies, like the kids' movies don't have bad words. Have you ever seen a bad word in Toy Story?
Maybe.
Yes, I have.
Which one?
Toy Story.
Okay.
Toy Story 2,
Wait,
Toy
okay.
Story 2.
So my next question is to panelist for Dhruv only. That is, as books tell more details than movies, should we see the movies instead of movies without knowing the details? What do you think?
Like when you're little, you should watch movies more because they teach you simple English. When you become older, you can read books. Like I agree with you guys that books are better, but I also don't agree.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
There are lots of books for younger kids, especially in nursery or a little bit older than that, which is very simple English for the ages that student needs to learn. Whereas movies, you're kind of listening to them, and I'm not saying that you don't learn English by listening, but reading it, you improve your reading skills, your imagination, and you learn new vocabulary.
I know, but in some movies they also have subtitles and can read from there and also listen at the same time. And like kids have most kids. I'm not saying all kids, but most kids have more interest in movies than books.
Dhruv, I agree and disagree with you at the same time. Because movies open an entirely new dimension for those who can't understand the plot of a confusing book.
So yeah, guys, it's the time for taking the questions from the audience. So it's so anyone from the audience?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. Firstly, thank you for the opportunity. It's a wonderful discussion. My question to our wonderful panelists present here, especially for Hana and Anthea, is do you think, because I heard that a lot of you disagree that movies are not, is not a great idea to teach children. But if that is the case, then why are the why is like a big screen kept in our classrooms now? Don't you think our teachers use a lot of YouTube videos now, short stories, moral stories, fable stories to teach us? It doesn't have to be movies every time, even if it's a short video. So what do you think? The schools, what is your perspective about schools using movies as a medium to teach children?
Okay, so I would like to answer that. A very good question. Some of when they read books, some of the kids have a different imagination, and when they're like very young, they don't know what's happening because they imagine different things what they read in the book. But when they show these moral stories, YouTube videos, they have a clear understanding of what is actually going on.
So Hana, does that mean that the education, what the teachers are doing to use movies as a medium to improve the kids' imagination is the right idea?
Mostly teachers are just using this to just understand and the topic clearly, but mostly teachers are only showing the related videos only. The mainly teachers are reading from the books and telling the children, and they are just showing the video of the same topic only. But this showing the video is not at all great to make children understand, as teachers should only teach from the books and make the kids more understand and do the activities from the books.
Thank you so much, panelists. Over to you, moderator.
So let's continue our panel discussion. So my question to is panelist one, that is Aisha Noah. So my question is, don't you think that if a novel has turned into a film, would you read the novel first or watch the film?
Well, I personally think that you should read the novel first because novels have an extent level of writing about the character's feelings and their looks, and the plot is more fixed. Whereas sometimes when they put it into a movie form, there are many differences that they can't put into a movie using CGI and etc. So I personally think that novels should be read first.
I would like to add on one thing to Aisha's point. That reading a novel can make the kids understand the feelings and understand the kids can inspire by the authors of the novels. Novels are mostly written about the experience, life experience of the author, and movies cannot influence kids as movies are just drama. Not only some of the movies just shows real life experience. mostly movies only shows dramatic things.
I'd like to add one more point that books can describe the feelings and emotions, and movies, like if a novel is converted into a film, then also it doesn't contain the knowledge that book does.
Let me ask my second question to our panelists. For that is Dhruv Lachwani. So my question is, don't you think that books can improve your spellings and grammar rather than watching movies?
Yeah, I agree with you, but also in movies there are subtitles, right? So kids can also hear the movie, and they can also watch the movie at the same time, and they can also read. the
I actually disagree with Dhruv, because subtitles are mostly like people saying dialogues and they say like really fast. But in the books, like we can read at our own pace.
I know, but mostly the dialogues are really not
No,
fast.
Most,
Because like
not
once
mostly, not
a few
mostly.
weeks ago, I went to watch a movie, and it was like, and the subtitles were very slow.
Subtitles are like paced with the dialogues.
Yeah.
They are not slow.
So mostly they don't say the things very fast.
I
And,
would personally
and until the
like
next
to,
person says anything, it takes time for the next
Yeah.
person to say anything, and then until that, the subtitles are still there.
Dhruv, I would like to say that when you're watching a movie and reading subtitles, you're multitasking, and sometimes that gives
That is good for you
brain,
because you learn how to
which
do
is
more.
not good for your brain.
It's not
So
good for the
that
brain.
is good because like if
No,
you
it's not
learn
good
to
for
do
the
more
brain.
things, and you become smarter.
Moderators control the discussion. It is not a debate.
Okay, so my next question to is panelist to Anthea. So my question is, don't you think that watching film is a waste of time as all the information is given in the book?
Okay, so I don't think it is, because books can be long as the author makes them, but movie has like a time limit that it has to complete. And I think that reading books is much better.
So it's the end of the panel discussion. So it's the question and answer of the audiences. So audiences, any questions to our panelists?
Tiana would like to ask a question. Tiana,
Yes, ma'am. So,
on your video. Switch on your video.
ma'am, can you see me? So, I want to ask question to the panelist 5, Lokesh. Why do you think that books are better than movies? Like, I mean, I can just see that you're against it. So, what makes you think that most of the movies have slang in it? Or most of the movies are bad for the watcher?
Okay. May I ask the moderator to rephrase the question?
She's asking that. The audience is asking that. Why do you think that movies is more better than books? Because you are telling that like books is better than movies because telling that movies have more slang words. So could you explain it?
Yeah, I'll explain. I think because books has an good experience of imagination, but like movies are just made up and it's shown on the screen. In the books, you can imagine what is happening.
Ma'am, can I answer the question or something?
Yes.
Okay, so Lokesh, I think you didn't get my point properly. I asked you what makes you think that. I mean, okay, imagining from the
Is
movie.
there a real life example location
Yeah.
you add?
I don't have a point for that.
Okay.
I don't
Other,
have a point for that.
other panelists can help. Yeah.
Okay, so if you ever have gotten a book, you could see at the backside there's like an age limit to read the book. So basically the authors make it for those particularly age people, so 7+, so they won't have any slang languages in it. But if you see it according to movies, there's no actually rated or age limit for it, so there are slang words.
No, I think movies also have an age.
I don't think so. They do.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
it's 6+.
Movies also had
Movies have a
16
movies
plus.
have
They do
It's
have an
the
age
end
limit,
of
but they
the
don't
question and
actually meet
answer.
up.
Can I just add to Anthya's point that
Yeah.
yes, there is age ratings to movies, but because everything movies are online, then anyone can go and watch that movie. Whereas books, sometimes you need to go to the store and buy it, and the store owner would see your age, and if you're not age appropriate, then they won't let you buy the book.
But don't you think that online is easier than going to the store? I mean, why would you struggle so much just to get a book? You could read the book online.
Okay, I would like to,
Yeah, we could. I'd like to give a point too. We could read the book online too, but it will cause harm to our eyes.
Some people enjoy reading books in hand, reading with actually touching the book and pages. So it's just the person's opinion.
So sorry for
Thank
interruption.
you,
It's the
Tanya.
end of the question and answers for audience, and it's time for summarizer to summarize the whole panel discussion. So over to you.
Yes. Greetings to one and all. I'm Tiana Martis. The topic for today's discussion was movies versus books. What influences the kids the most? The key points mentioned in the discussion are reading books make our vocabulary better. It's much easier to learn vocabulary from a book than from memorizing words from what others say. That's because you're learning words contextually. Books describe feelings and emotions. Many novel books or poems are written by the authors who express their feelings, which readers impact. Thank you, everyone, and over to the moderator.
So we have came to the end of this panel discussion. The panel discussion was wonderful with our 5 panelists. We will come up with another panel discussion for a wonderful topic. For now, bye.
Thank you, everyone. Wow.
Bye.
It really is wonderful to see all of you really acting like modern panelists, panel discussion, and that too in such a ripe age of 9, 10, 11. You are speaking like big politicians and
Ma'am, recording is still on.
no problem. So it's good, right? I'm praising you, so you should be happy. Okay, so now coming to the feedback point. Okay, though I have enjoyed it, but yes, there are a lot of loopholes which has to be filled. First, the moderators. I'll come to the moderators later because I have a lot of points for them. I'll go to the panelists. Panelists, you all were splendid. Believe me, you all were splendid. The way you conducted, the way you asked questions. Look, no. When it's my turn to talk, you should not talk. It's feedback time. Dhruv, why are you unmuting? This is what I don't like. This is disrespect. When you are talking, I'm listening, right? Now, so coming to the feedback, panelists, you all did a brave job. You had a good points which you shared. Confidence, yes. Enthusiasm, okay. I felt it was more going towards a debate. It shouldn't be like one person saying something and everyone attacking to him. That's a wrong way. That comes like you're disagreeing, you're catching on the point, which is, and then you're diverting from the topic because of that. If one person, suppose Lokesh is disagreeing to Dhruv and they both had a discussion, wait for the moderator to ask the next question. That's a sensible thing. Why do you also want to disagree and add the same point? That went wrong. Coming from the beginning, opening remarks, flat. Aisha, Lokesh, Anthea, Dhruv, flat. Hannah tried to give her point of view about the topic. That is what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to give the point of view of the topic, not just say the topic. Every one of you just said the topic. Thumbs down for that. Next, Hannah, I would like to tell. Tell is a very informal way. I'd like to explain. I'd like to inform. I would like to stress. You can use such words. Okay. Dhruv, introduce yourself better. You didn't even say your name. You just started, today we are going to discuss about movies and books. and finished. No. Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Dhruv. I study in year 5 in Winchester School, and then you can start the topic. That is what Dhruv said wrong. Don't say I don't agree. Dhruv, you were like shouting and howling and saying, I don't agree with you. No, I slightly disagree with what Lokesh mentioned.
Because everyone is not agreeing.
No worries. That doesn't mean that. That means you have
I
very
know.
good- So Joe, don't say I don't agree. Say I slightly disagree. I don't completely agree. Say it nicely. Panelists, if you want to say yes, you can use the word certainly. I certainly agree with you. Okay? Instead of saying yes. Yes, you are right. Certainly. This what you said is absolutely correct. Use good words. I think out of all the panelists, I felt everyone had their own charm. Starting from Aisha. Aisha had a good research points. She was able to answer the questions very nicely. Anthea was actually the one who was taking opportunities to talk. Very good thing. She didn't wait for moderator to ask the question. That is a nice thing. You should add to. She added to the points. Hannah, be little more of articulate little better. Okay, like don't wait for the moderator to ask you. Okay, right? And otherwise it was good. Dhruv, use the right body language, because in between you were going like this, you were going like that. No, you are a panelist, you are an expert, so you can't behave like a 5-year-old kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Or carry yourself better, use proper language. Okay, don't stick to the same point. Lokesh, same thing, don't stick to the same point. Your points were really good. He's the one who actually spoke in the right, and I mean his points were expressed very clearly. Lokesh, that is a good thing. But Lokesh, you were interrupting a lot. For everything Lokesh had a point. Never do that. You have other co-panelists with you. You have to respect them. The fact that they also want to talk. You shouldn't intervene for everything and say, I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree. No, you're not there to disagree. You are there to share your opinion. So change that definition in your mind. Okay. But overall, all efforts were good. I'll announce the best panelist in some time. Moderators, great job. It is not easy to be moderators, but I have some. I'm disappointed with few things. Welcome the panelists for today. You didn't even welcome the panelists. You could have, you were supposed to say Aisha from grade 5 MET. You were supposed to say Lokesh from your grade 4. They said it because you didn't say that. You just started. Okay, let's start. There was no thank you also after they announced, they said about themselves. You're going to say thank you panelists for being here. Use polite words, use nice words. Shreyas was like jumping into to start the discussion and his video was off. Why was the video off? You are the main person in the whole discussion. Don't close the camera. I've written that very clearly. Redirect the question. Naren and Shreyas, one person kept talking. Redirect the question to the ones who haven't spoken. You have to make sure all panelists get to speak at the equal time. I saw only Lokesh Dhruv, then Aisha, Lokesh Dhruv, then Anthea, then where was Hannah? Inform her that and tell them, okay, you don't have to scream and say, by the way, Lokesh Dhruv, your volume was very high. Calm down, you're talking, you're not debating. So Naren, you could say that, well, now coming to this, let me ask Hannah as well, what is her opinion on this? Okay. Naren, your questions were excellent. Shreyas, don't say, wait. No. Okay. You wanted to scream? No. Okay. Panelists, let's move to the next question now. You're formal. You're not like friends. Hello, guys. Thank you, guys. You said thank you, guys. No, that's not the right language. For this particular thing, it's not a right language. Okay. So there were pauses in between. Why? To start, there was a pause. In between, there was a pause and panelists were like, what is next? Don't let that pause moment be there, Naren and Shreyas. Okay. My next question, if both of you just said, okay, my next question is, no, it is not an interview. My next question is not an interview. So you heard Aisha's point. You're going to say, wow, yes, I completely agree to what you said. Look, but Lokesh, what do you think about this? That is called, see, you're handling the question, but you're not interviewing Lokesh. You're telling what is your opinion. You're redirecting the question. Okay, don't just say, okay, my next question. Both of you just said my next question is. Don't do that. And you both, except Naren, Shreyas was not listening. His hands went up in between like this. He's sitting in a local train. It went like this. What? You're a panel, you're a moderator. Everyone's watching you. Okay? Your camera was off, and when the camera went on, you were like sitting like this. Shreyas. No, Shreyas. Okay, there's a way to conduct yourself in different forums. Okay? Next. Okay, I'm done with this. For moderators, I had lots to say. Summarizer has also disappointed me today.
Miss, can I
Just
leave?
2 points, and those points were also not expressed in the discussion. I don't know from where you got those points. About feelings, nothing. I think those were online stuff. Tiana, can you explain this to me? Tiana? Tiana, I'm waiting for you to talk. The points, there were a lot of points which were discussed, but none of those points were summarized in the summary. Why? I want to know.
Ma'am, just a minute. Can you just repeat it because I was out?
There were a lot of points which were discussed, but none of the points were mentioned in the summary. You started very well, but none of the points were discussed in the summary. Key points. You didn't bring the key points. You just said something which was not even there in the discussion.
Ma'am, actually, they just discussed about vocabulary in the start.
That's one.
So, yeah.
Okay,
So,
discussed about reading, which will help you to read at your own pace. That's a very important point. You didn't even mention that. So only 2 points were important to you in this 30 minutes discussion. No, that means you're not listening. Every role in the discussion plays a very, very crucial part. One person does not do well, the discussion is a flop. Now you're just practicing. So I can say anything to you. But when you're going to reach to a point where somebody else will come and moderate you, they will give you right and left. They will say,
Yes,
no, this
ma'am.
was not there, that was not there. So don't take every part very seriously, Tiana. You
Yes,
could have
ma'am.
been better. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So overall, it was a good attempt, but could have been better. I think it is better than yesterday. So I think it's a good news for us to smile because we did our best. Did you all do your best?
Yes, ma'am.
Shreyas? Did
No,
you do your
ma'am.
best, Shreyas?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, you can still do better, right? Okay, no
Tried my
problem.
best.
I know I will get the juice flowing from you. We'll extract the juice from you very soon.
Ma'am, you told a best panel. And the
Best panelists. Yes, thank you for reminding me. There were 2 of them who I choose to be the best panelists, and those 2 are
Lokesh and Dhruv. Lokesh
Any
and Dhruv.
guesses?
Location and Thea. Location and Thea.
You are absolutely right. Lokesh and Anthea as the best panelists who did their role superb. From the 2 moderators,
Naren.
panelists, who do you want to vote?
Naren.
Yes, Naren would be the best moderator. Okay, but that does not mean he's the best, going to be the best. He also has to work hard on few areas. Okay, children, have a wonderful week ahead, and I'm going to see you all on Tuesday if you're coming.
Ma'am, we forgot the best summer. Oh, we had one surprise.
What I